We're on. Okay, I want to thank you all for making it here for another meeting of the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association. We, what is this? This is March. We're in March. Next month, we're not going to have a meeting. We didn't get it booked. They have too many people booking this place here at Fest Parker. Oddly enough, there is an organization that comes to Fest Parker, I think in January and February, and they are huge, and they book up every single room in Fest Parker for like a month or two. Imagine what that must cost. I would have that kind of problem. So, I just want to thank you very much for showing up. Again, we start off with very few people, and a few more people show up, but because we are videoing this and it's going up to YouTube, everything that we do ends up on YouTube. People have a chance to get back to it. And so the idea is that we've got information and education up there so that you can get to it at your leisure, your time, with your cell phone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever you've got. So we are here to help provide that education, that information, and some networking. Okay? We've got the main site here, Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association, the short version. We are here in that little room right up here someplace. Fest Parker, you are here. So thank you so much for making it. Great place to be able to go out there and network with people and kind of walk around and check out the view. We have a number of things that you can access from the website here. So if we come over and take a look at the YouTube videos, when you're on the website, if you go back to meetings, there'll be a link there, and you get to it, it'll take you off to meetup.com, which is something that you should be using because it will really help you network with other people. They'll see you up there and go, oh, I see you're at this wine and cheese thing. Why don't you come to our real estate thing, or vice versa. So this is really good to be on and be part of it. It's free. Everything, well, that's YouTube, excuse me, that's YouTube. That's the meetup.com, okay? So that's what you want to be a member of. YouTube is where we have all of the videos up there. Right now it says, oh, I don't know if I got the amount up there. We've got quite a few views on the site, so everything goes up there. It's something that you can look back for years and see some of these past meetings that we've had. Okay? Well, we axed the wine. We don't have any wine anymore, and we do have some food back there and some coffee and whatnot. We are going to go through, just to give you an idea of what's happening here today. We've got vendors. I'm going to have Victor come up and do a little bit of talking here pretty soon. We've got Linda Piagas here for Realty 411 Guide magazine. She will be up here. We've got Keith and Roberta here from Wealth Academy. So they'll be up speaking. And then I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about training, my NHB LLC sites, and some socializing marketing. We all have to do some marketing. We've got Kurt Davis here, who's going to be up speaking a little bit about no money down real estate investing, which, you know, that's the place to start. Sure. No money out of your pocket. So we've got that. We've also got Craig Jennings, who is the owner of Memphis Invest. Now Memphis, excuse me, Buy Memphis Now, not Memphis Invest. That's actually a different company, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's cut that out, okay? We'll just cut it right out of the video. Buy Memphis Now, okay? And this is going to be an interesting discussion because he's going to talk a little bit about the company and how he got it started, but I'm really interested in the fact that he does global markets. In other words, he's got people from around the world that are coming to him for investments. And so how do you tap into that market, and how does all that work? It's going to be some questions I'm going to be thinking to him about. So thank you, Greg, for showing up to do that. So, and then of course at the end we've got some free stuff here and there. I've got some books back here from Kathy Fetke, who's spoke here before, so if you want a free book on some real estate wholesaling, that's back there. And if anybody else has got anything they want to give away, you know, please do, just give it away. Thank you for showing up.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks for
And
hosting
then
us.
at the end, we're all going to head downstairs to the usual, you know, place to get some food, have some drinks, or whatever. So if you want to hang out later on after it's over, do the networking, we'll be doing that too. Okay? So let's do this. Let's just start off with our vendors, and I'm going to have Victor come up and speak to us about working with me Canadian National Home Buyers. So let's give Victor a hand here. And Victor, why don't you, let's see if I can turn that off for a minute, so it's not shining in our face here.
That sounds good.
You've been working with me now, kind of doing some wholesaling and different things for about how long?
Since June, like mid-June got started.
We're coming on almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
Months, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's good.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain some of the stuff that you've been doing?
Recently, helping people get interested in wholesaling, finding deals. I'll get on the phone with them, give them a strip. Recently I've gone like 30 to 40 with some people. They kind of took some time to get it. Really, it's really quick, you know, just read it, 1, 2, get what they need, and you're out, and then we do the rest. So wholesaling is not very difficult, but it's not very easy. You just have to have the time to do it. So we don't charge anything. We're not like other companies, you know, give us $20,000, $50,000 and we're going to show you how to do this and your whole life is going to change. It. Nobody can do that. It doesn't happen like that.
As far as the training is concerned, you're saying?
Yeah, the free training and the software and the marketing tools we provide to these people that are really want to get into it and serious, because if you're not really serious into getting into this, why would you even do it? You're wasting your time and our time. To be successful, you got to put in your time into everything, like 110%, or else you're going to have no results.
So we have been doing low-end stuff, high-end stuff. Victor's got a contract right now on his, started off $6.5 million property in San Francisco. So
Yeah.
we'll do the high-ends. And I've been saying, why waste our time doing the low-end stuff when we can do the high-end stuff?
Yeah.
But what did I do just recently?
We switched it up.
We said, okay, we'll do the little, the middle, the most, big, whatever we can do,
Yeah.
we'll do it. Because, you know, if you have to wait 6 months for a big deal, you might as well do some small ones in between, right?
Yeah, stack them up and they'll be all equal. So, you know, instead of chasing owners and getting them to realization what the house is actually worth, and, you know, they're very confusing on different levels on what they really want and need. So just finding out what we can really do for them and just go from there. And if it gets to become too much time consuming, we're going to move on to more deals. You know, we got this really cool app we figured out on how to use to get leads directing right to us. So you're spending no money on getting off-market properties, people who need to sell. You just got to filter out the process and get through them, and we delegate that work to people who want to get involved in with us. So it's really cool, you know, having your phone, your email, your Google Drive and spreadsheet work for you, you know, so kind of new thing we're implementing, and having these people that are looking to get involved in locating deals. So,
And this is an application that Victor found and brought to me. So there's an example of the student teaching the teacher, okay, and why it's so good and important to network. Because no matter where you go, somebody's going to know something you don't know. There's just not enough time in the world to know everything. So Victor found this application out there that works with any cell phone, and it will just bring all this information in, and you can filter it to do whatever you want it to do. It'll put it either as a text back to you, or it'll put it into a spreadsheet for you.
yeah,
All kinds of things.
create a Gmail folder for it and like divide it into different states that you want to go into it too. So it's very interesting. You just got to have the time to do it like anything else. So the deals are there. Instead of searching like Craigslist, Trulia, Zillow, and spending lots of money like people do on yellow pages, you know, it's very ridiculous. But hey, we're just here to show people what we know how to do and what we can do for them.
Yeah, and more recently, Victor's realized that there's money to be made off of loans as well, because we're, you know, working with a relative of his that does, it is a registered or a licensed real estate agent, broker, and loan broker.
Yeah.
And there are some loan brokers out there that'll say, yeah, you know, refer me some business, I'll give you $500, or there's some like his relative that would say, yeah, we'll divide it up 50-50, 1/3, whatever. You know, so if you're doing a $6 million property and you're getting 1 point at $30,000 and split that up 3 ways and get $10,000 a piece, that's pretty quick and easy money if you can close the deal and make it all happen. So there's money to be made on the lending side as well.
Yeah. We've got good private lenders as well to work with.
Right. So, yeah, what would you say the most difficult part of the business is for somebody who's just starting off?
I would have to say it's just being focused and determined on it, because you could have the deal in front of your screen, and if you just sit on it and wait, 2 days later somebody else will get it and it'll be already under contract or already being entered into escrow. So it's just, you gotta be on top of it. So, and making the phone calls, that's the biggest thing on the phone. And everything will be good, will be solid.
Yeah, that actually, I've talked to a lot of different real estate gurus and that teach, and it might cost $10,000, $20,000 or $50,000, whatever, to go through their program. And when I ask them what their percentage of success is, and they say, oh, maybe 2 or 3%, and I say, well, if it's such a low percentage of success, what's the big stopping block in these people being successful? And they always come back with the same thing. Well, they're just kind of afraid to pick up the phone and make the phone calls. You know, it's a whole thing that once you do enough of them, it's like, excuse me, it's no big deal. You just do it. You know, you get used to it. You don't take it personally. It's a numbers game. But you have to have the time. You got to put the time in to actually do it, or nothing happens. So, you know, Victor will be here to help you maybe get through 5 or 10 of those phone calls, so you can conference in. I can be on the phone with you too. But at some point, we're going to cut and say, hey, that's it. You guys need to make the calls. If you're not up for that, then you just aren't going to be doing the business. And some people are like really on it and they go do it, and other people are like, maybe I do want a different job. So it's, you know, you really have to get a sense of what you want in life. And if making calls on the phone isn't it, there's going to have to be something else. So Victor, is there anything else that you want to add?
No, I mean, if anyone's interested, just come see me or Dan and we'll get you great return on your time. But it's got to do the work, put in the work to get the results.
Yeah, you do. And you're doing a great job putting it in.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be able to, very, very good. You know, I've had mentors, and I do have a mentor above me that says, Dan, you shouldn't be doing this stuff for free. This is really stupid. You know, you're spinning your wheels. And people have asked me, well, why do you even have this real estate thing going on here? And you don't charge a lot more and try to make more money off of it. And, you know, my first thing that I can say is because I can. 20 years ago, I was so broke I couldn't. You know, I couldn't offer more of my time. I had to stay on the treadmill and, you know, make the money. So I'm, you know, somewhat retired doing what I want to do. So I'm able to do more of that type of stuff now. And, you know, I'm really looking to build teams of people on a generation. Like my son Michael is here. Hey, Michael. He's doing the videos back there. And my daughter was helping out the registration. She's off in Long Beach going to be a nurse. But we've set up LLCs for them and put properties in them so that they can start seeing how all this stuff works. And I really see it as building up relationships with people that can be generational, so that when I'm dead and long gone, you know, and whoever has been working with me on a property and they're gone too, our kids can still work together. It may be a different property because they bought and sold it, but the structure's there, the knowledge is there, and they understand how to pass it on to their kids and just keep doing this generation after generation. So that's an investment that's well worth my time. And, you know, I mean, how much I don't need to be Warren Buffett, I don't need to be Bill Gates with billions of dollars. As long as quality of life is my main thing and I'm able to live it the way I want, that's what's most important to me. Okay? So let's have Linda Pliadas come up here and give us a little rundown on what she is doing with Realty 411. Thank you, Linda, for making it.
And Dan, you hit it right on the money. I mean, money is important, but it's not the end-all, be-all. Quality of life is very important. What's also important is giving back to people and giving them information and tips, strategies that may make them successful and help them. So that's what we do, and today I am promoting Private Money 411, which is inside Realty 411. I'm also giving away very few copies of An Insider's Guide to Attracting Private Money. This is a great book. It was written by a friend of mine in Silicon Valley, and I have very limited copies available, but if you come see me at my booth, you can possibly get one. I am also promoting an event that we are hosting in Arizona. Let me see who's going to be the speakers for that. We have Dave Franecki with Capstone Realty. He'll be speaking at that event. Jim Bean with Lifeway Advisors. Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, stationed right there in Arizona. Sensei Gilliland, Spencer Caldwell, and Karin Hall with You Direct will also be at our Arizona event, which is April 11th in beautiful Phoenix. Please join us if you can. We're also going to be having a property tour with Blackbelt investors on Sunday. So if you're interested in the Arizona market, or if you just want to have fun, go spend some time on vacation with us in Arizona and absorb all the knowledge that we have about real estate investing, you're more than welcome to join us. It is a free expo. The tour itself is $99 or $149 per couple, but the event itself is absolutely free for everyone.
And as a real estate investor, it's all the write-off, the vacation.
Absolutely.
So it's a business trip.
So this is a great opportunity to vacation in the Valley of the Sun, see some properties, learn about the market, and also meet investors from all over the country, because we're going to have a lot of investors from California there, a lot of local heavy hitters from the Phoenix market, and you know, we're just really excited. I just came back from San Jose. We had an expo there. We had about 150 people join us. It was wonderful. Then we had an event in Orange County, and Dan
big
was
event.
there.
2 rooms, 2 separate speaking rooms, and a middle room for all the vendors. It was huge.
Yeah, we had about 400 people. It was an incredible event. It was actually the largest event we've ever had, and it was wonderful. And I want to thank Dan and Michael for helping me with that event, because I couldn't have done it by myself, and they were really helpful, not only at the event, but before the event too, helping me with social thing and getting some marketing going.
How do you measure success of an event that size? In terms, you measure it in terms of deals made,
Yeah.
dollar volume, houses sold, bought, what?
That's a great question.
Handshakes?
That's a great question. For me, as an event promoter, I see it as being successful when I can bring in people and our vendors are happy, and we bring in qualified individuals who are interested in real estate and can act on that interest, who are qualified. That's how I measure the success, because I really don't know how many deals are going to be, come about as a result of that event, unless people call me, which we do, get calls from people and they give us feedback. But for me, as an event promoter, I measure the success in terms of the people that are coming in, and once I speak with them and get to know them, the quality of people that are at the event.
And it was April 11th and 12th.
April 11th and 12th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Holiday, actually it's at the Hilton by the airport, so they have a shuttle, right at the airport. It's very convenient. Any
And
questions?
yeah, and I would like to say that, coming to an event like this is great, it's relaxing, but it's small. As you can see, this is a really small event. Craig's probably going, this is the smallest event I've ever been to. But it's going up on YouTube, so we're going to generate more business from that. But the reason that it's so important to go to these events that Linda puts on that are huge is because you're going to meet people that you didn't even know what was going to happen. And 3 months later, all of a sudden you go, wow, I would have had no idea that that contact would have resulted in this. For instance, I went to one up in San Luis Obispo. She's got the book there on private lenders, and when we're there, one of the private lenders that was there was walking around, talking to different people, and didn't mention that he was a private lender. Great, okay, good to meet you. Didn't think too much about it, and then a few months went by, and I started looking at our situation and decided that I needed some money, and I'm not quite sure. Maybe I gave him a call or something like that after we met a few times, but we really needed to solve some financial problems, and so he said, well, I can loan anywhere on a minimum of $100,000 and a maximum of $1 million. And I said, oh, great, okay, well, I could use $150,000. And he goes, are you sure that's all you want? I said, well, I'd love to have $1 million, but I don't know what I'd do with that. I don't want to make payments on it. So I got it, and it really helped us hide our debt so that our credit rating would go up so that we can qualify for the loans that we needed to do. And we got all that settled, and our house is now refinanced, and our rental in Santa Barbara is refinanced, and now everybody knows what the truth is, but we were able to play the game long enough with private funds that weren't being registered on credit reports so that we could, do what we needed to do, and it worked out perfectly. He's all paid back. So this is why you need to go to these meetings that Linda has, where there's a lot more people, because it's all about the networking and the people that you're gonna meet. So I wanna thank you very much
Oh, my
for
pleasure.
doing what you do, which is just doing one of these a month, and I'm going, how does she do like 2 a month, all over the United States, like, mind-boggling.
I'll be heading to New York later this month, next month too, so we'll have an event in Long Island with the East Coast Real Estate Investor Association, so it's Dan's counterpart in the other side of the world.
It's
So
amazing.
it's really neat, I love it, I'm very blessed.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
what you
you.
do, and I'm so happy that Michael's working with you, and actually, I think that Victor might be interested in doing some stuff with you eventually too, so the
Awesome.
two of you should connect.
Okay.
Since we're here to network before this day is up and talk about the possibility of how you can support each other.
Sounds great,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
And is there a Midwest REIA?
There's, if you go to the internet, and it's kind of getting to the point where anytime anybody's got a question, you just look at it and go, well, Google it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are
Kim
REIAs
Franklin.
all over the United
Yeah.
States, everywhere, and there are different organizations like the National REIA that we're affiliated with. You can get discounts on Home Depot and different things through the National REIA if you're a member. There are other organizations just like them that oversee lots of other REIAs as well. So I think REI Club or something, I'm not quite sure, but they're out there, any place you want to look and go, they're going on. The main thing is you don't want to go broke spending $150,000 in education and never get a property or do a deal, okay? So you want to be very careful about that. Get involved in as much education as you can, but don't go broke doing it. Be smart about it, okay? So we've got Keith Foley and Roberta Eastman from REI Wealth Institute. Thank you very much for showing up, and I think Keith is going to be talking. Yay, Keith!
Keith Foley, founder of REI Wealth Academy. We educate mainly the adults so that their kids' future is not their parents' past. That's our big mission in our company. And because they're not getting the education in school, bottom line, they're not getting financial education. So we put as much financial education out there as we can. We're talking in public schools now. We actually became the Central Coast traveling trainers. So now we open a club in Atascadero. We had our first meeting there. Small turnout, but it was a great location. Actually, one of the people came to another meeting, REIA, Mario's, found the location, the Holiday Inn Express. So we meet there now, and we put the dates out, and if I can get your email, I'll let you know when the next one is. And we're gonna do one in probably Orchid, and another one in Paso Robles. We found a location in Paso Robles too. The Paso Robles Inn, we're coordinating that. So basically what we're doing is we're opening clubs up and down the coast, and we're having somebody in that club who we think can handle it and do a good job, expand it, take over that club eventually. We're not trying to own a bunch of clubs up and down the coast, but we want the word to be spread out with good training, good vendors coming in and implementing.
Excellent, excellent. And how is that connection with the schools? How is that working, or how are you doing that, or plan on doing that?
We basically want people to help us get into the schools and get into the colleges that they know, anybody they know, coordinators, so we can get in and talk to them. You know, the college level stuff, it's more financial stuff, it's paid talking, but the high school stuff is our volunteer stuff where we go into the high schools and we talk to them about financial educations and goals and not letting their dreams sit there, just tacked on it and do things along those lines.
Excellent. So they might have an auditorium meeting or something with the
Yes.
students that you could actually go in and speak
Yeah.
at?
A lot of schools do that. They have, what do they call it now? There's a program that they have out now that they have the advanced stuff that they have to do, and part of that is finance. Finally, they got it in their budget to do that, to have one a quarter, to have a speaker come in, somebody talk. So we're trying to get into those schools. We're trying to get into those high schools.
Excellent. That's really
So if you guys know of anybody,
Are there after-school investor or finance clubs that students can join? And
not that I know of. No. Maybe down in some of the bigger cities like Los Angeles and San
there's
Francisco.
lots of extracurricular outside of school hours bugs of all kinds, I just wonder if this one concerns itself with.
I wish they did, I think there's one in San Jose, but I haven't heard anything about them. You know, those are probably paid schools, education for the kids in the upper echelon, so I've heard of that one, but other than that, I haven't. Today, we're gonna be offering, a PDF, which is our 10 secrets, and we've elaborated on those. Basically, it's the 10 things that I use to build my real estate career, and do all the deals, you know, talking to people, homeowners, put it all out there in front of you. $10, and basically we give a couple bonuses with it, so if that's available today, you know, for the meeting and stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much what I have today.
Can you speak a little bit about some of the deals that you're doing as far as pulling investors together with their funds to be able to do lease purchase and different things like that?
Okay, we did, this December, we closed 2 deals in Lompoc. We found one that basically was a divorce sale. It hadn't even got on the market, it was just starting foreclosure, and it was a contact, word of mouth, all this stuff that anybody does, is building relationships. Somebody knew that I did real estate, they contacted a friend of theirs, they contacted me. I pulled it before it started a foreclosure and turned it into a short sale with our short sale company. Short sale company, it's a $300,000 house, got it for $235,000. So what I did, rather than pull a loan or something like that, I used investors. 2 of them were from this meeting. One guy we had only met twice and pulled up $85,000.
Wow.
And then the rest of them were $42,000 increments. There was 5 of us involved in the transaction. We bought it for $235,000. Right, went in, did about a $300 cleanup, and I said, you know what, instead of doing the complete rehab, let's do a lease option on this. So Roberta and I strategized, put it all together, and I have a philosophy, and it holds true. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. We shared it with all the investors. So what we did is we said, rather than give you guys a percentage, a 6% return, a 7% return, you're gonna be a partner on this, so you're gonna get money all the way through. So we did a $15,000, we tore the carpet out, we cleaned up the backyard, that's basically what we did to it. We did a lease option on it for $300,000, $15,000 lease option fee, non-refundable. I had 52 calls on the signs that weekend. The weekend after that, we had 186 phone calls.
Was that from signs?
Bandit signs.
Bandit signs,
Yep.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of cities don't like them.
Mhm.
It's a business. If you get a fine, you get a fine.
Yeah. So what price to pay?
You did this with bandit sign?
Bandit signs got all these calls, yes.
And what did your bandit sign say, instead of we buy homes, we
No,
have one
that's,
for sale?
no, that's for buying. This was for a lease option. So 3-bedroom, 2-bath lease option, financing, or it depends on what you're doing with it. So we put that out, yellow sign, black ink, put them out on heavy intersections. And I actually had the bandit police take them down twice.
Mm.
And then I had a conversation with the bandit police guy, and I said, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, because they had, at the time, they had the Elks road sale all over town, and they were being left up. So we came to an understanding that, no, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. So he left us alone, said, please take him down on the weekend. I said, no problem. I took him down on Sunday. I put him up on Friday, take him down on Sunday. Like I said, 186 phone calls, and we,
Out of 186 phone calls from bandit signs, what do you think that number would have been if it was just strictly something like Craigslist ads compared to bandit signs? Maybe 20 calls, 10 calls?
probably a third, not even a third.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference. You know, people see it, a lot of people don't have time to look on the computer, a lot of people do look on the computer.
Okay.
But on that transaction right there, the $15,000 was split, all of us, all the way across. The $1,500 a month, which does not go towards the purchase price, was split, all of us, all the way across. And there's almost a $40,000 spread at the end.
And was the person who did the lease option somebody who was credit challenged and wouldn't have been able to get a loan someplace else?
Made great money, had a medical thing, had a triple bypass, had just moved back to Lompoc, which is where they lived. They were ecstatic with the house, they knew exactly where it was, they were all over it. And of those 52 phone calls, I had 3 that were qualified, really, that could handle the money, because we look at that 40% ratio.
Right.
You know, can you do this? I don't want them to have a problem down the road. I want to make sure. We did a home inspection. We handed them the home inspection, said, look, this is what needs to be done before the lease is executed. And there was nothing, hardly anything on it. I think there might have been $2,000 on it. You know, we looked at their credit, Everything went through our attorney, they signed in front of the attorney, I mean, everything. Our contract is done through an attorney, so everything went perfect with that. It closed, they're in it, they put hardwood floors in, they painted, they redoing the outside, they love the house,
They're doing it.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you didn't have to wait to get them qualified because you were owner financing with your investors.
We ran them through to make sure, you know, what their credit was, what was going on. I'm not worried about the past, what's happened, I'm worried about what you've done from that.
Okay,
So if you still show the bad habits, I don't want to be an enabler.
Right.
So, you know, it's one of those.
perfect.
So they had great history after that, they were trying to fix everything, it worked out perfect. We did that house, and with all the calls that we had left over, we qualified somebody for the next house that we got, we hadn't even got the keys for, we already had that one sold.
That is so cool.
So the lease options are great, the subject twos right now, pretty houses are great. So everything else is slowing down, foreclosures slowed down, they're starting to pick back up a little bit now, I'm starting to seeing stuff pop up there. But the lease options are great, the other one we picked up, the guy just walked away and gave us the house. So
That's so great.
Wow.
we just took over his loan, it's a good loan. Even though it was an adjustable, we took over his loan, he owed what it was worth. So he walked away, and when he walked away, we did the same exact thing, $15,000 down. We didn't have to get the money this time, we didn't need any money, there was hardly any cleanup. So no loan, nothing, everything's in place, so $15,000 non-refundable option fee, $1,500 a month. His payment's $1,300, so we're cash flowing there. And then at the end, there was about a $32,000 spread. So
So you're leaving that loan in place until somebody else takes it
he's got
eventually?
3 years, the option's 3 years. So in 3 years, he'll refinance and pay this guy's loan off.
Okay.
And we did all the paperwork, power of attorney, limited power of attorney, all in there.
So your bandit sign say 100% financing?
On that one, financing was in place, so financing available on that one. Yeah, that one drew a lot of calls.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other media that would be anywhere near as effective in reach. And besides radio, theoretically, you know, people listen to radio a lot. I don't think newspaper would have been able to do that.
No, everything's shifting, you know. Newspapers are going to internet. I mean, everything's changing that way. People out driving in front of Walmart, turning right there, there's a sign.
Yeah.
People are turning at an intersection, a four-way stop, there's a sign.
Right.
So, you know, you need something short with a bold number that can attach their attention really quick, because you've only got about, 8 to 9 seconds.
Now, is there any increase in those fines that if you did get fined would go up and up, or is it just $50 a sign, or what's the deal on that?
Actually, I was putting the sign up in the yard because I own the house.
Okay.
And the guy, it's funny, I posted on this on my blog. That truck pulled up behind me, so I'm used to somebody, stopping me, hey, the house is for sale. So I'm chuckling as I'm putting the sign in the yard because I know what's happening behind me because I caught it out of my peripheral vision. I turn around, the guy rolls down his window, he backs up and says, hey, you're not allowed to put those up in the city, blah, 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 and giving me the perfect speech all the way across. And I start chuckling, I go, you must work for the city. And he goes, yes, I do. And I go, you know what? I own the house. It's basically my yard. And he goes, oh, I'm talking about those. I'm talking about the ones in the corner and stuff like that. And I go, what's your name? So he said his name, and I go, we just talked 2 days ago. I'm Keith. And he goes, oh, I talked to you. You and Roberta. And I said, yes. And then I explained to him the situation with all the other ones. He goes, yes, I know about that. And I said, so bottom line, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I take my signs down. It was the day before, it was a holiday. So it was Thursday afternoon at 5 o'clock. So nobody was supposed to work on Friday. So it just so happens, he goes, well, I go, what are the chances of this happening? He goes, pretty slim. I live 4 houses down. So it was just a fluke. And he's in charge of that whole division.
That is so funny.
But he was okay. Once I explained it to him, and I said, look, this is a business. This house is empty. I'm helping a family get in here. I'm helping the city with money. This is how it works. So he pretty much left me alone after that. I had no problem.
So there you go, face-to-face interaction, kind of work it out
Relationships.
and make it, developing those relationships.
Yes.
Good. Excellent.
Okay? So if I can answer anybody's questions, I'll be over here in the corner. Right now, I gotta step out of the room because we got a student that's calling us right now, and then
Okay,
I'll be back in.
thank you very much, great job.
No problem. Thank you.
So there's an example of why it's so good to have all these people, I had some
Don't want to piss them off.
person down south say, hey Dan, you know, you're not really charging anything for your REIA, you're gonna have competitors up there, they're gonna put you out of business, you're not gonna have a Santa Barbara anymore. And I told him, you know what? All those competitors that you're talking about that have put us out of business, I'm inviting them and just telling them, come speak, I'll promote you, you know? Keith and Roberta are helping some of our members here that I couldn't even help. So, you know, if I can't help them, somebody's got to help them. And so it just works. And there's not very many people that are going to want to come and do what I do for free. You know, that's pretty hard to beat the competition on that. But I know Santa Barbara is a tough market. You know, Fan Merrill comes here, spends $6,000. You know, Fan Merrill. $6,000 or 4 to 6 advertising, big huge room downstairs to handle 500 people and 30 people show up because it's not anything they did wrong. It's Santa Barbara's a small venue. Nobody in Los Angeles is going to come up here when they can just stay down there and wait for it to happen there, and they show up down there. He does the same thing down there and he gets 300 or 400 people to show up. This is Santa Barbara. It's just a tough market. So, you know, I've had some speakers say, we don't even advertise. We don't even try to do anything there because there's just not enough people. But they'll come up and they'll do our stuff once in a while because they get to come up on vacation, write it all off. They love, you know, the Fest Parker, and they're doing other things when they're here. So we're fortunate from the standpoint that we have a place that people like to stop by, and we get people who normally wouldn't come to something this small. Plus we put it up on YouTube, and that helps too.